Hello again, and welcome to the next module of the course. We have gone through the introduction, which included the calculator portion. We've gone through the theory, which included the terms and the golden rules. So now we're ready to start solving equations. This is the part that everybody has been waiting for. So I'm going to go to my one-step section. That's the yellow section of your notebook. And if you turn the page, it's blank. And I did that on purpose because I want you to have room to write. Some people need a lot of room, others don't need a lot of room. So all that you will have here is your T-chart that you'll learn how to use. So in this particular video, we're going to focus on one-step equations that involve addition. So the first one that I would like for us to work is as follows. A plus 6 equals 15. Okay. I will not be doing this on every equation, but until you get used to what is going on here, I will do this for a few. So the first thing that we need to look at, and I'm going to change colors so we can keep track of different things, is this right here. The operation sign is addition, so this is called an addition equation. And right now, we don't have to worry about why it is a one-step addition equation. I just want you to be able to identify the type of equation if you are asked to. So it is an addition equation. Okay, let's look at this letter A. It is called a variable. And do you remember what the 6 and the 15 would be called? Or the plus 6? That is a constant. The 15 is a constant. And the equal sign tells me that there is a solution to this problem. This is not an expression that we can simplify. It's an equation that we can actually solve. We can find the value of A. Okay, before we even do that, let's mentally see if we can calculate the value of A. So instead of the A, I'm going to rewrite this with a box. And let's see if we can figure out the unknown for A. So we want 15 total. I have 6 already. So here is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it took 9 of those little dots to fill in that box to make the equation balance, to make it true. That 9 plus 6 is 15. And we want to be sure that 9 and 6, that's 15, that matches the 15 on this side. So we would say that 9 is the solution, that A would have to equal 9. Well, for this one, the little box and the dots works fine. We could do an equation like this with a box and dots. The problem is that most equations are not going to be this basic. This is a very, very, very basic equation. So at the end of this course, you can come back to this page and you'll realize just how basic this one is. So I need to teach you the algebra process for solving an equation. And just as a review, I want to list the golden rules here. Golden rule number 1 was to move with inverses. And I know you still probably may not understand that at all at this point, and that is okay. Hang with me, you'll be fine. If you do it to one side, you do it to the other. So you treat both sides the same. Remember, I showed you if you add 5 to one side, you have to add 5 to the other side. They have to be treated the same. And our third goal is that we want a variable, one letter, equaling one number, or you can have it the other way, it doesn't matter, but that's how we know when to stop. I'm actually going to make a copy of that so I can use it on the next problem. Okay, so let's solve this equation using purely algebra, not the box and the dots. So I have A plus, 6 equals 15. So to solve this problem, you need a T-chart. So I want you to draw the horizontal line and the vertical line. This T-chart will solve any problem that you're going to find. And here's how it works. On the left side of the T-chart, you're going to put the left side of the equal sign. So on the left side of the T-chart, we write A plus, A plus 6 is 15. The equal sign is this line. Okay, so you can think of your equal sign sitting across that line always. So this is how you put your equation onto the solving frame. Okay. The next thing we have to do is figure out which side is the variable side and which side is the constant side. So I see the A sitting there. That is a variable. Variables are letters. The 15 is a constant. It doesn't vary. It's a number by itself. Okay. So then let's take a look here. I'm going to use one more highlighter color. I have the A and I have the 15 that are both placed correctly. The A is a variable and it's sitting on the variable team. The 15 is a constant and it's sitting on the constant team. Do you see that the plus 6 right there is the piece that is out of place? This is the part that needs to move. It's a constant on a variable team. So to move this 6, we're going to do the opposite, the inverse of plus 6. So this is going to be minus 6. Let me shrink a little bit. That's golden rule number 1. Golden rule number 2 says to treat both sides the same. So you have to do it to this side. And then I want you to cancel this part. The opposites right there, those inverses, cancel away. They become nothing. So you're left with the letter A. Remember, this is the equal sign. 15 take away 6 is 9. There's your solution using algebra. A, one letter, one number, is a solution. So A equals 9, which we knew from the beginning because we used the box and the dots method, but that will not work in most cases. So we can see the proof of what we're doing, but the algebra is what's so very important. And you have solved your first equation. Okay, let's go to the next page and draw ourselves a solving frame. And here's the equation that I want to solve. M plus 3 equals 5. M plus 3 equals 5. And I'm not going to use the colors this time, or at least not to highlight the parts. So let's say M plus 3, that's an expression. 5 is a constant. So this is the constant side of the problem. This is the number side. And probably for this video, I will use number and letter also. And then after that, I will only use variable and constant, because I want you to learn the real names for these. And that is not what I'm trying to say. Letter is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's take a look here and figure out which term is out of place. Okay, the M is a variable, and it's on the variable side. The 5 is a constant, and it's on the right side already. So you see the plus 3, that's a constant. So it needs to be over there with the other constant. So how do I move a plus 3? You need the inverse, the opposite, which is a minus 3. And you do that to both sides and cancel. So you're left with M, and 5 take away 3 is 2. If you need your calculator there, that is fine. Use your calculator wherever you need it. So your solution to this equation is M equals 2. Okay, moving on down the page. The next problem I want to do is R plus 165. I'm glad I don't have to draw a box and dots on this one, equals negative 193. So we have a negative this time, and that's okay. Don't let that get you upset. It is just a number. It's just a constant. So to put this one in the solving frame, I first need to draw a solving frame. And then I need to write my equation in the frame. And here's a rule. You don't want to put unnecessary parentheses in the frame. So in this case, those parentheses are just so I won't overlook the negative sign. I know it's there, so I'm just going to leave those off and write the number, the constant, in the frame. So this is the constant side, the number side, and this is the letter side or the variable side. Okay. So you can see that the 165 is the piece that needs to move. It's a constant term, so it needs to go over to the constant team. The opposite of plus 165 is minus 165. And I do the same thing to both sides. You treat them equally. So you cancel here. And then this is where your calculator skills become so important. This says 193 negative, subtract 165. And I'm going to do that to be sure that there are no surprises between what I'm telling you and what you're seeing on the calculator. So all clear, 193 negative, subtract 165 equals negative 358. Okay. Now, if that bothers you, the equal sign and that negative sign, you can put those parentheses back in there to keep that all a little easier to see. Some people don't like to see the parentheses. I'm one of them. So I will just leave them off. But you can put them in there or you can leave them off and it does not matter. But your solution this time is a negative number. Okay, moving on. The next problem is going to be a negative 16 equals y plus 6. So let's make ourselves a solving frame and put our equation in there. Remember that vertical line is the equal sign, so it's coming right down through the middle of this problem. Now this time my variable is on the right side. And that's okay. My letter's on the right side. My constant is on the left, and that's fine. So it is that plus 6 that needs to cross the line. It needs to move over to the constant side of the problem. The opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. And if you do it to one side, you must do it to the other. So here's the canceling. And here is the simplified version. Put it down here. So this is saying 16 negative, subtract 6. And when you put that in your calculator, you want to type all clear. 16 negative, subtract 6 equals negative 22. So your variable is y, your negative 22 is the constant, you're finished. Again, you can put your parentheses around that negative 22 if you like those there. It does not matter. Okay, one more. And that is going to be negative 263 and 1/10, so you have a decimal here, equals z plus parentheses negative 318. Okay, so this one, aren't you glad we don't have to use a box and dots to solve this problem? This one is one that I need my algebra to do for me. So I'm just going to resize it a little bit so that I have room to put in my frame. I don't want to make it too little because then we can't see it. Okay, here is the solving frame. Draw a line across, a line down. You will always have scrap paper, so you'll be able to do this on a test. So I have negative 263 and 1/10. Z, add negative 315. I'm sorry, negative 318. I'm going to leave these parentheses because I don't want to mix up that plus and minus. So this is the variables team because of the z. This is the constant team because it is a constant number value. And it is the 318 that needs to move, so we're going to take care of that right here. So the opposite of minus 318 is plus 318. And we're going to put that over here and cancel. So all that's left on the right side is the z. And here we have 263.1 negative, add 318. Okay. And let me do that on the calculator just to check myself. 263.1 negative, add 318, and that looks like 54.9. Let me double check that, please. 263.1 negative plus 318 is, yes. It's a good thing I didn't do that one in my head because I would have missed it. And your solution this time is a decimal, but that's okay. We can have decimals and fractions anywhere. So don't worry if you get something that's not even. Okay, I have shown you how to do the addition problems, and I will show you the subtraction problems in the next video.